over. I'm going to give you, welcome back. We're back. We're going to talk happy hour. I love that part of the call where it's just weird in between so we can have two recordings. But what I'm going to do is for you, those of you who could not be there, I'm going to show you and briefly run through happy hour because I'm coming to a whole bunch of your market centers, or I've been there, but I had the pleasure of closing Family Reunion with happy hour on how to hack your productivity with the Command app. And the thing I really want to focus on the most are the myths. So in a minute, I'm going to show you my screen and it's going to have blah, blah, blah. We don't want all this. You guys know all this. Let me get to the myth busts and the pro tips. You guys are so good in the region and you guys have such great market centers that when I tell you I was sitting in a room with Maggie and people's heads looked like they were going to blow off their body because they could not believe what we were telling them. I also need to tell you this. Maggie and I had walk-up music. If you don't know Maggie McDowell, she's one of our market center tech trainers. They played Shipping Up to Boston as we took the stage. And when I tell you the place went bananas, it was insanity. I was also shocked that people outside of New England don't know what that song is, but they loved it. So that was kind of exciting to walk up to that. And people were really impressed with what the app can do. And it just reminded me that there's a lot of people who may not have been on some of our happy hours that have all these ideas in their head of what the app can or cannot do. So today I'm just going to give you a high level because I'm coming to your market centers if I haven't been here, but I want to make sure you guys know a few of these things. So there are pro tips when it comes to setting yourself up for success on the Command app. And one of those is having contact tags before using the app. Can you add them? Yes. Does it make it 10 times easier to just scroll and tap and move on in your life? Absolutely. The other thing is on the desktop part of Command, we're going to make sure we want to do smart views. So smart views are as simple as this. I'm filtering my database, maybe by who's recently active, who is a past buyer. You can save the way that filter and search looks by calling it a save search or a smart view. Now, when you're on your phone, you just scroll across the top on contacts and go recent past buyers who are recently active. And then you can see that list. So it's shortcuts to productivity like that. And then you do have to have smart plans on your personal side. You have to have downloaded them from the library to be able to set those off and into the wind from the app. Oops. We know how to do this. So Maggie talked about her favorite productivity hack, and that is starting every call and text from the app. And if you've been in my class, you know, after you install it, we have you move it to where your phone normally sits on your device. Kyle, you're laughing. I made you guys do it. And what a productivity hack, right? Because what happens is when you start the phone call or the text, when you come back, it asks you if you want to log it because you guys are doing the work, but you're not proving you're doing the work. And David spoke about knowing your numbers. If you don't know how many calls it takes to get to a closing, you're missing out on numbers. If you don't know how many clicks or emails or snail or the breadth of the relationship, you're missing out on super important numbers. So start every text and conversation. Yes, I even put my mother on there. I call my mother every morning from the app. 1, it's easier. 2, to prove to her that I did do it because she's very good at pointing out what I didn't do. Go ahead, Karina.
Okay, so when you start an email from Command, does it log it into Command?
You don't have to start it from there. It's going to copy the email, but as long as you're connected to your Gmail and settings, it auto logs it back and forth no matter what you're doing.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I do that. I call clients, I call and I text from there. So
yep. No, emails are automatically logged as long as you're connected in the back end of Command and you've connected your Gmail, you're good to go.
Thank you.
It auto logs it for you. And then mine was the voice to text, right? Being in New England and sometimes that thicker New England accent, it's a game to me now. What did I say to the lady in the box versus what did I actually say at the end of the day? So I sort my database by most recently contacted. And from there, I make sure my notes make sense, that they're on the right smart plans. Do I have to adjust smart plans? Did I have to do something for them and any future tasks or opportunities? Again, we talked about moving the phone icon to where out of there and bring in the command app to where your phone sits, because not using the app is just a habit. It's just a habit that we need to break. Clean data is super important, but we've got to log those activities. My favorite thing is when it comes back and it's like, would you like to log that activity? Why, yes, I would. And if you're texting, all you have to do is copy the text with your thumb and paste it into the notes. Super fast. And then once you get your college degree in the command app and you're working on your master's, smart plan tag triggers are the bomb. Basically, what a tag trigger is when you add a tag to someone, you can tell the smart plan to automatically go off. So if you're at an open house, you add them to your phone, you put open house on, boom, they get all the info from your open house smart plan. That's a master's degree once you get the basics going of command. One of the myths we hear all the time is that you can't use Twilio in the command app, and you can. You have two choices. So if you pay for Twilio, you can either use your own phone number or you can use your Twilio number to send texts. So that was a big one. We hear that often. Well, I can't use my Twilio and I don't want them to have my phone number if they're a cold lead. Great. So when you click text, it'll come up, use my primary device or use Twilio, send the text, come back, mark it, and off you go. You can see on this, there's two different C's, send using Twilio or send using the device. And you can just ship it. The other thing we hear often is that teams cannot use the app. You can. Just like in the desktop version of command, all you have to do is tap your face. So when you're in the app, if you tap your face, you can toggle between your personal command and your team command. So yes, you can still get to everything inside there. You can see Jessica Campbell right here to the A team. All you have to do is flip-flop back and forth. And all the functionality is still the same. You can text, you can call, you can do all of that. You can't update opportunities in the app. And yes, you can. There's a whole bar with opportunities. But if you want to get into actual opportunities, the Hamburg menu, that's the 3 lines on the app. And then you can tap opportunities, pulls you right into opportunities. Now, there is some limited functionality. You're not going to be able to pull in documents as easily or do other things like that right now. Remember, this is on the fly, quick things, super fast. This is not meant to run your business and everything you're going to do from the app. This is meant for quick updates. And then one of the newer things they released right before Family Reunion is the ability for you to have a QR code that people can scan it and the contact is opened on their phone and they can save it. So when you go up to your name, you're going to see something in the app that says My Business Card. When you tap that and open that, a QR code pops up. On that QR code, when people scan it, it's pulling from the marketing profile that's on this page. So if you're looking at my screen and you see profile, that's the information that's going to flow into the contact card that your clients are going to scan and get. Now, while I love this, I don't like it when we give data, but we don't get data in return. So I'm still heavily using the free app Blink, BLINQ. I adore it because it forces people to share their information back. We had a lot of agents use it at Family Reunion, pulled those people into command and then put them on smart plans immediately to stay in communication with other agents there. So that was one of the newer fun things that was pulled up right before Family Reunion. And that was the basis of everything that I taught about the app. So what I want to know from you guys are any questions you have around the app, because it's going to be your productivity hack this year, so that you remember what you were supposed to do, who you were supposed to call, or even where you're supposed to be. So what do you have for questions or even ahas from the few things I showed you today? Or did I do that good of a job?
I have a question.
Yep. I knew I'd make you uncomfortable enough to come off mute.
Me? Okay. So anyhow, you can't group text from the app, can you?
Nope.
It's just one text at a time.
Can I tell you something? Can we be like legit, real, and honest? You put me on a group text and I'm going to cry, because you know why? There was some Android person on there, and then you can't get off the group text. And then I just want to cry. Do you mean group text or bulk text? Hold on. I just gave up a lot. Okay, bulk text. We are talking something completely different. That's a smart plan.
Bulk text.
You can, as long as Kyle and I were on the same page on that one. You can, as long as the smart plan already exists. Right? So if you're at an open house or wherever you are and you want to add people to it, like, why would you be bulk adding people from a phone? I want to use like a use case at the end of the day. Like, what is your desire?
So basically, my desire is to be able to text message to a group of people in my database the same way that you would email a bunch of people to your database, but nobody else can see their email, like blind CC. So that's kind of what I would like, to be able to use my phone to do a group text and blind CC everybody. It's still a
smart plan.
So I can do a text smart plan, and then I can change it and text it.
Well, no, because you have to be thoughtful about who you're texting and why. Right? That is something I would write on a desktop and add people. I don't love bulk texting for the sake of just bulk texting, especially if I don't always know the people. So let's just say you had a bunch of buyers who missed out on 123 Main. If you had 123 Main as a tag and you saw another property come up, I would have a smart plan that had an email with the newest property ready to go and a text that went out that said, hey, remember you from the open house, another property has just come on the market. Would you like to see it this weekend? I have 3 openings to show it. Right? That has more value than just a bulk text. I think the functionality you're looking for is one that's built into future releases, but I still think we have to be super thoughtful about why we're sending a text, because it should be a smart plan. Everything we should do should be a smart plan.
Okay. Now
here, I have one more question for you on that. What happens if you send a bulk text out to 400 people and 20% of those people respond to you while you're on the go? What are you going to do besides pull over and cry? Like,
I don't know. Well, I would have to text them back right away. I don't know.
But you're driving. You're not supposed to be.
I would have to pull over.
Always think about this. So I was just working with someone and they were like, well, I want to just blast this out to my entire 7,000 person database. I said, what if 20% of those people respond to you and want to work with you tomorrow? Can you handle that? And they were like, no, I still work full time. I said, great. So why don't we get super thoughtful with tags and people who are motivated now and send that message to the motivated so we know how to use your time. Think about where you are when the message is going to happen.
Okay. I have another question.
Yes.
Okay. This was burning in my little head. So, so you see how you have there's a smart plan for fall back, spring forward, fall back. when you choose that, does that update to the next, like to the date, or does it start from the date that they originally made it?
It starts from whenever you deployed it. So be very careful when other people write smart plans.
Yeah.
Because you really don't want to send an email out this week that says, don't forget to fall back, right? If you don't schedule it properly. I am very big on making sure you set them on yourself first to your personal email to seeing how they happen. Because if you don't schedule it correctly, it's going to be a mess. And while sometimes those messes can result in a lot of phone calls, we had one of our agents not wipe out all the agents' information from Pennsylvania when they sent the smart plan because it was not actually created smart. They just put all their info in. But he got a whole bunch of phone calls, right? That might not work for everyone. So it all depends on how it's created. And without seeing it and not being in your command and seeing it, I can't tell who created it or the delay, right? So is it delayed 6 months? Is it like, how is it delayed? Does it make sense? Right? You got to just be really careful with date-based ones. That's all. That's why it's so important. You only use the home anniversary smart plans and birthday ones that exist. No other smart plans will work. I don't care what they tell you.
Yeah, because I send out, I send out reminders, but it has the date. Oh, don't forget, March 7th, spring ahead.
Does that go away this year? Did they do away with it?
Not yet.
I can't wait for that day because I love getting 7,000 emails from all my realtor friends. I'm like, guess what it's time to do this weekend? Think about adding fire safety tips to those emails.
Fire safety is on mine. That, but I have not sent an email out.
Yeah. I would just look at the date triggers. You'll know the time between the two, and it may be worth it to break them up. So, when they're going out. So you're not have to worry about, oh my goodness, if I added them now, are they not going to get it till December? Like, what did I do? I would just look at the dates and make sure it makes sense. I would put those type of holiday or one-offs in its own smart plan. So that way you don't have to worry about the next month, what's going to happen.
Yeah. Because that's kind of what I was worrying. What would happen if I did that? So.
Yeah. Okay. No, you just got to look at the dates. And again, it's hard when other people write things and make smart plans. Look at the stars, look at the amount of downloads. There's some great stuff in the library that people have never even seen. I always look for newest to see what people are making. If you went to family reunion, I have a family reunion agent follow-up smart plan in there that helps you stay in touch and deliver items of value, David Heyer, to everyone you met. Silly things like market data from your area, a thank you note, something you read, talk about a class you went to, call them and ask them what's going on in the market. There's all kinds of fun things you can do. Thank you. Judy, you came off a mute. Do you have a question?
Oh, no, I probably never muted again. Sorry.
Guys, the app will change your world. If you do nothing else but download the 10 smart plans that KW has for you and use the app consistently every single day, your business will change. And there's no cost to use those smart plans, right? There's no fee to build those things. So dig into them, but please make sure you read them, please. Because not all authors create things the same. I work really hard to make sure that anybody who downloads something I make, they don't have to change a single thing in the smart plan because that's just silly. Guys, do we have any other command questions? I don't have a full list of updates and things that were released. Some things, there was a little bit of push and pull in between. I just will remind you, if you see something weird, and you've tried something for 15 minutes and it doesn't work, please send in a support ticket, hit the question mark in command anywhere and get that in. You should never, I would cry if you say, I've been trying to do this for 3 days. Don't try to do that for 3 days. 15 minutes. If after 15 minutes you can't get it, it's probably not you. So get a support ticket in or get on with support chat. They're usually there all the time. You just got to hit that question mark in command, get help, and it will follow along. It'll tell you what to do. All
I
right.
just
Any
say
other
one more thing?
questions? Yeah.
This was a game changer for me. When you go on command, the home,
Mhm.
at the top, you get your bubbles and it's leads never contacted, recent activity,
Mhm.
birthdays and anniversaries. This is
Yep.
brand new. So you can look at it because it was like leads never contacted.
How pretty is that?
Yeah, I clicked on that and I was like, I can't believe I haven't contacted 21 people in my database. And then I looked and said, oh, those are all spouses. I should not be contacting those people because they're people that I don't even know. It's like they're family member that I have the relationship with. And they're only there because when I sell their house, I need their name.
Or maybe you haven't logged the activity. So it's a good trigger to say, oh, I did talk to them last week. Pull it up in your phone, write all the notes you need. Yeah, those new bubbles are cool. And they also show up in the command app. So when you're looking at the contacts at the very top, you can, in the smart views, you can show leads never contacted. It's a great way to do your doing the database too, as well. Get those tags on, create smart views from your tags. And then all you have to look at is all your A and Ws, all your S and Us, all your breaking and entering, B&E, like all, that's not what that stands for. It's the only way I can remember it. All the things you need for your doing the database too. All right, gang. There are no more questions. I'm going to give you 10 minutes of lead gen time back because you got a lot today. Go call someone and make their day. Go call someone you like who you know is going to pick up and just say, hey, I just want you to have a good day. That's all. And they're going to say, what? That's it. So I better see my phone ringing in a few minutes, Kyle. Actually, don't call me. I got things to do, but I love you. Right, friends. You have a fabulous day. We'll see you next week.
I was just gonna call you too.
Oh, of course you were, Al or Kyle. Of course you were. I expected text message at least, though. That's our love language. I'll send you some TikToks.
Yeah, thanks. Do that. No, hey, to touch base on that family reunion topic, a colleague of mine was explaining that story to me, and I actually got emotional just from her telling me what was going on. I'm like, this is nuts. So thank you for sharing that slide. I'm gonna watch that whole video.
Of course, and we'll put it out on on our Facebook group as well for those of you who are driving or on the road. We'll make sure you guys have it.
Awesome. What was the name of is the name of the book, The One Thing as well?
No, it's The Power of One More.
Power of One More.
Ed Mylett, Mylett.
Thank you.
All right, guys, be good.
Have a great week.
You too.